Please, don't make me do this. They don't want to see this shit, please.
You wanna play my game?
No, I really don't.
I'll let you play, but you'll have to beg.
Okay, today we're playing Catwoman. Yay! Let's look at this catastrophe. So this game is a direct tie-in game to the Catwoman movie that turned Halle Berry into the proud owner of a Razzie just on the basis of how shit that movie was. But is this game any better? Nope, it's worse. It is so much worse. Now this game has an incredibly deep story that follows Patience, who gets cat abilities after being flushed down sewer pipes. Wait, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Let's go back to the start of the story and see what actually happened. Okay, so Patience overhears some scientists working on this cosmetic product that actually kills the bacteria that is responsible for your aging, but it's bad for long-term use. Basically, it's just gonna kill you. But if that's what it takes to be beautiful, I'm gonna do it. And then after being spotted and running away, then she gets flushed out the sewer pipes. I also love how this guy just spots a lady overhearing the conversation, and to him, the only solution was, let's flush this bitch down the pipes. Cool, let's drown her. So she wakes up and there's a cat on top of her, and now she has cat powers. And oh boy, they are so good. She is so powerful. Wow. So now you have your cat powers, you are extremely sexually charged, and you're out for revenge. But how are you going to get back at the people who tried to kill you, and how are you going to take down this evil moisturizer company? As you would expect, Catwoman sports a variety of different moves that make her formidable in combat. However, sadly, unfortunately, those moves aren't present in this game. She does have a whip in this game that can assist you in grabbing objects, solving puzzles, doing some platforming, and to be honest, probably fulfilling a kink. You can't tell me that one of these guys wasn't enjoying this a bit more than what he was meant to. In addition to this, you'll also get a lot of close range attacks such as kicking and kicking people into boxes and more kicking. There's just a lot of kicking in this game. Now, one of the worst things in this game that just makes it so frustrating to play is its obscure button mapping. You don't get to control the camera in this game, and to kick someone, you first need to hold down L1 and then push the direction of the kick that you want on the right analog stick, instead of, just assigning a kick to one button. But this awkward button mapping also isn't just reserved for combat, no. Even the wall running forces you to hold down L1 and then you have to press R1 for every jump you want to do, as well as pushing the direction on the analog stick of where you want to go. And now on top of all of that, in your platforming sequences, there are also moments where you have to use your whip. So you're doing everything I just said before, as well as throwing out a whip. It just becomes an absolute mess. It is so clear that no one knew what they were doing on the team here, and it feels so unnatural, almost like I'm mocking someone with carpal tunnel syndrome just to try to pull off a basic maneuver. Even something as simple as dropping down a ledge is just one of the most unnecessarily complicated things to do. In most other games, you press a button to drop off the ledge. In this game, no. Of course, it's tied to the right analog stick, like your whip and like your kicks. You have to push down to let go of one hand and push down again to let go of the other. There is not one scenario in this game where you need to hold onto a ledge with one hand. Not one scenario. So why is this even baked into the game? Just let me drop off the ledge, please. Now that's a lot of bitching about the controls, and you might be saying, oh well Sean, why didn't you just change it then? Well look, you can't. You're stuck with whatever the game gives you, and it's bullshit. But I sure am glad I can toggle the vibration because of how much this game bends you over and fucks. Now, to its credit, the game does give you some additional combat abilities through the use of an upgrade mechanic. As you play, you'll unlock these diamonds as your currency. Get it? Diamonds? Cat burglar. Steals diamonds. Now with these acquired diamonds, you can go ahead and purchase new abilities, such as removing enemies' weapons with your whip, launching yourself at enemies, and my personal favorite, posing. This will see you try to seduce your enemies by posing, and it totally doesn't get in the way of combat, and it totally doesn't leave you open for attacks while the animation plays out. Nope. So dumb. Oh my god. Now, combat is quite strange in this game because despite having abilities to unlock, there are really only two ways to defeat an enemy. You can play into the game's obsession with just kicking people into boxes, or you can beat the shit out of them enough where they turn yellow and become scared of you and they just run away themselves. Those are basically your only two ways to defeat an enemy. Now what this means is that no matter who or what you fight, all of the upgradable moves are irrelevant because all you need to do is simply line up enemies and kick them into a box. It removes any need to increase your skills, it negates any drive to learn the mechanics of the game, as every enemy is disposed of in the exact same way. You also get this weird fucking cat sense that obscures you more and hinders your vision to make the game even more difficult than what it needs to be, to the point where it even hides the objects that you need to interact with to stop, let's say, this fan here. I couldn't see the glowing thing because of this stupid cat sense. Now speaking of hindering the view, I don't know if you noticed, but there's this giant obnoxious fucking bar to the left of the screen here. You might be wondering what that is. It's actually your health bar. But I have no idea why they made the bar so fucking big. It's almost like, hey buddy, you're about to fucking die. Let me make this bigger for you, that's sure to help. Now to continue on the trend of absolutely zero critical thinking applied to this game, let's now talk about the puzzles and platforming. I'm pretty sure I'm not meant to be standing here. Ah, cool. I wasn't. Neat. Now the game tries to split up its shitty combat sections with even shittier platforming sequences. Remember how I said you can't control the camera? Yeah, it becomes a real doozy here. It constantly gets in the way of the player and it doesn't show you where you want to go or need to go, and it constantly has moments where it has no idea what it wants to show you. The platforming in this game also has zero consistencies, especially when it comes to the abilities seen by Catwoman. There are instances in this game where you might need to get up a small ledge or climb on the back of a truck, and the game is like, nah, that's too tall for you, you can't do that. But then it does this shit. How the fuck can I swing that high off one swing? Surely if I can do that, I can climb up the back of a small truck, right? It just really leads the players down a path of frustration, seeing what's sometimes possible, but the game takes it away from you because you have to solve it in the way that the game wants you to. Listen to this. I had just killed all the enemies in this area and I just needed to climb up the back of this truck. I can't run and climb because the game won't let me. There are gates next to it, so I try that. Hey, that doesn't work. I then try these many boxes around the truck just to jump on, but Catwoman doesn't grab onto the fucking truck. I then explore a little more and see that there are some platforming sequences in this level, and I get to the top of the swing and say, okay, cool, I'm a little bit too far away from the truck, I can't make that. I've killed the enemies, I can't jump on boxes, can't use the grates, and I can't swing there, even though I've seen Catwoman swing pretty far before. What the fuck do I do? I shit you not. The solution to this was to go up to this very specific television screen and hit it, causing a short circuit that would blow up a pipe and become another swingable object for that previous platforming sequence. That's the puzzle. You blow up one very specific television screen. Oh my god. Now the game does try to give you some extra objectives for the level to, I guess, get bonus diamonds once you've completed it. And it's also done really poorly. It tells you what you need to do before entering the level, and it says how many of those particular tasks you need to complete. But you think while you're in the level, you should be able to check how many of these things that you've ticked off. No. You can go into the menu and see what the overall objectives are, but you can't see how far you've progressed in those little objectives. The only way to see how you did is by completing the level, going into your details statistics, and then seeing what you did or didn't do. You have no idea how you're progressing through the level unless you yourself are writing the stats down. Every level plays the same, and some of them even look the same. It's either going to be in an alleyway or maybe a nightclub or some kind of house or enclosed room. They all function the exact same way. There's going to be enemies, there's going to be some shitty platforming, and then you'll rinse and repeat until the end of the game. And the game knows you're going to put the controller down because you're going to come to a realization of what the fuck am I doing playing this? But if you leave the game on idle for just a minute, you get this. Now after a couple of really shitty boss battles, you get to the end of the game, and this is actually a highlight for me, not because it finishes, but because it has some of the worst dialogue and probably one of the funniest endings to a game I've seen in a long time. Now you have your really engaging boss fight. And at the end of it, our antagonist here, who's actually the boss of the cosmetic company, notices that Catwoman scratched her face through the window reflection, and she decides that life isn't worth living. My flawless face has marks on it. I'm gonna kill myself. Isn't that a fun message? Now before I do let you go, this game has one more stinker lined up. So before I show you that, I just want to thank the coffee supporters on screen now. If you cringed in this video, go ahead, leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll leave you with this. Have fun!
So, think you can stop chasing after me now?
Yeah. In my official capacity, at least.
Sounds like the start of a beautiful friendship. I also saved your life. The rule book says you're supposed to kiss me.